What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today I'm going to be continuing to present the idea of why there is still this euphoric moment that's going to be happening in the cryptocurrency market, and why there's still going to be this massive bull run of absolute epic proportions and chaos and craziness and similar stuff like we saw happen with Dogecoin, but happening everywhere in the cryptocurrency market. I will be incorporating the Ripple XRP price chart into this because it tells a story and it builds on top of itself. But I think this video is important to anybody who is interested in Bitcoin or interested in Litecoin or interested in XRP or really lots of the different cryptos out there. And if you are very tunnel visioned on one very specific crypto asset, I still think looking at this video will be important for everybody, even if you see me talking about assets that you don't own, because I'm going to be tying together a very big picture here. And essentially, what I'm going to argue is that the large knockback that we've most recently seen is actually normal. And we've seen this exact same thing happen before. And when it happened last time, the next phase of this market, after consolidating and accumulating again, was the epic bull run we've all come to know and love from 2017, where the bull run is no longer just a grind to the upside, but it's where we start seeing lots of big green candles show up and everything goes absolutely crazy, where you see all the retail investors chasing every single thing they possibly can all at once. And if you were here in 2017, you know what I'm talking about. It was crazy the way people were bouncing around from Verge to Tron to Litecoin to XRP. It was all madness of jumping around everywhere, crazy whack-a-mole style, because the green candles were showing up like crazy. I'm going to present the argument that that's actually the next phase of our market after we finish this consolidating. One thing to think about on that note is when that moment happened in 2017, retail investors were in a very specific mindset of greed, jumping around, chasing anything, trying to find the next thing that is just going to go up in an absolute straight line, because they were used to that happening. They were chasing other stuff that would go up in a big straight line. And do we have that type of stuff going on in the market right now? And we absolutely do. We have those types of things going on with AMC stock, right? We have GameStop. We have Dogecoin. We have all these different things where all these retail investors are jumping around to the different places to find the next thing that is going to surge to the top. So we have large liquidity pools that are willing to move and shift and jump really fast. So from an element perspective, a psychology perspective, retail investors are in this mindset for this type of behavior right now. But I'm also going to show on the charts why that would be happening here in the whole cryptocurrency market relatively soon. And surprise, surprise, most of this information can be clearly seen over here on the Litecoin chart. Anybody remember Litecoin? It's not talked about very much, but over the years, Litecoin has always been one of the top cryptocurrencies in the cryptocurrency market. But on here, we see something very, very interesting. Now, if you've ever taken my course on bcbacker.com, I have a section in here where I talk about my exit plan for Litecoin and the blockchain backer exit plan, and a lot of it ties into what we see happening over here on Litecoin. Now, I've often debated creating a new course, but there's one of the reasons why I like to keep that one there, and it's to show the progression of how things have happened. When I recorded the initial exit plan video for the Litecoin section, Litecoin was right in here at about $59. But we talked about a lot of these things, and I wanted to make sure there was this track record to show how my thought process was, so you could see us get to these moments and see that when we get there and stuff starts happening, that I'm not just making it up on a whim, that there's a track record of me saying these things. But a lot of what happened with the price action for Litecoin and what happened for XRP tied back to very specific moments in time in the prior bear market. So our bull market was reflective of price action that happened actually in the previous bear market. And in particular, this rally that happened prior to capitulating, prior to going on and hit its bottom, where Litecoin was at $6 and then fell all the way down to $1, that this moment in time was actually important, which I often refer to as the rally prior to Bitcoin capitulating, in which if I overlay Bitcoin on top of here during the bear market of 2014 and 2015, you can see that this was a rally that happened prior to Bitcoin going on to hit its bottom and then start its bull run. The rally prior to Bitcoin capitulating. Now, I'm going to come back to this in just a second because we now need to go over to XRP's price chart. And for those who have been around with this channel for a long time, know we talk about this one all the time as well because this is XRP's rally prior to Bitcoin capitulating. And I have these overlaid on top of each other again now, and I'll zoom in a little bit like this and we can lay a line on it. And you can see that this rally that took place right here was prior to Bitcoin capitulating and hitting the bottom of the bear market. And that these particular rallies that happened right here prior to Bitcoin capitulating were very important for measuring out where the next rally would take us to in the bull market. I'll take Bitcoin off the screen. I'll take these things off the screen, but that when we measure with a Fibonacci extension and use it based on the rally prior to Bitcoin capitulating, overlaying our 0.236 fib on top of it right here, it gives us a perfect extension for how far out that first season or that first major rally was for XRP by using the rally prior to Bitcoin capitulating. Well, for Litecoin, there's our rally prior to capitulating. Yes, it does look different from XRP's, but we see a lot of these throughout the market. This is the rally prior to capitulating, and if we use the same strategy, measuring from the bottom right to the rally prior to capitulating, we go out for a perfect hit once again before a large fall happens. In all of my exit plans on my course, I always talk about that's like the critical zone for me. If any of my individual altcoins or even Bitcoin reaches out to that level, I will have sold 65% of my digital asset. So any digital asset that I own that has reached that level at this point, 65% of it has been sold. Of course, most of them haven't, but for those that have, I executed that. But I want you to see clearly what happened here, right? You can see we got up and we hit it, and then we had this large knockback, and then boom, Litecoin went on and set this really kind of crazy new high, right? Same thing happened for XRP, right? Rally prior to capitulating, found its top there, consolidated, boom, went on to set this crazy new high. One of the reasons why I always said I'm only going to sell 65% of my digital asset when it reaches that level is because I see the opportunity that there's a chance it could go significantly higher. And with 35% remaining, I was willing to lose all of my 35%. But if this thing went on to craziness, I would still have a good chunk to be able to ride into that. But I always found it so interesting by using this rally prior to capitulating that we got this perfect hit that would happen here. Then it would get a large knockback and then consolidate. And then, hey, you know what? Go crazy. And then I'm going to take this off here. I'm going to show you something on Litecoin as well. I did show this earlier this week or last week that we also saw something like this exact setup happen on Litecoin right there, right? That we're having the exact same style event occur here with Litecoin that also happened back in here. Also, while Litecoin was up near its all-time high, getting above its all-time high, then going back below its all-time high, similar to here, getting back to its all-time high, going back below its all-time high. Exact same fractals is what we saw happen in here. So there's similarities to the structure of what's happening here to what happened in here. But one thing we can take from it is that even though it did reach out there and get a perfect hit when using the rally to measure out how far it would go, even though a large hit came in, didn't necessarily mean the top was in, right? Still consolidated, still broke up higher. Same goes for XRP. Perfect hit, but still consolidated and broke up higher. And in both circumstances that I'm using as examples here with XRP and with Litecoin, it was the rally prior to capitulating as the measurement to reach out for the full extension, consolidation, further final end of bull market euphoric time period. Rally prior to capitulating, big rally, huge pullback, euphoric rally prior to the Bitcoin bull run and the whole cryptocurrency market bull run ending, right? And that's what we keep talking about on this channel, that this market is showing that there's this final euphoric moment. And we've never referred back to these things right here. I'm about to show you why I keep doing all this. I hope if you've stuck around this long, great. But why this is so important, because we've built the case over and over again for the last week and a half of why this wasn't the end of the bull run and that there still is going to be further upside in this market. But I needed to show you this on both circumstances for Litecoin and XRP, that using the rally prior to capitulating gave us that full extension out there, followed by one more big giant push on both of these things. And those who have taken my course know I'm not making this up as I go. When I recorded this last year, this is what I was talking about. The rally prior to capitulating, measuring it out, full extension. This is nothing new. It's discussed in every single one of these exit plan videos in here. We keep talking about this total altcoin market cap doing a V bottom after double tapping on top of the all-time high, pulling back into the bull flag, V bottom out of here, goes on to make one more big giant rally, right? And that's the end. And where is the total altcoin market cap at right now if we used the rally prior to Bitcoin capitulating? That is this rally right in here. Where is the altcoin market cap at right now? It's at a perfect hit on it. It has hit the top of the rally prior to capitulation full Fibonacci extension for the altcoin market. And if we take the total market cap and even include Bitcoin in that, and we measure that same distance using this rally prior to Bitcoin capitulating, where do we get to? A perfect whack right there on an absolute perfect nailed hit for the total market cap of all of cryptocurrency, pinpoint hitting it right on the button with a large knockback. But why is that interesting, right? It's taking into account all of the other things that we've talked about as well. We've talked about how the altcoin market in a typical structure, when it breaks out into its all-time high, back test, double taps this back test on top of the all-time high, puts a bull flag up, comes back down and hits it. And like we showed with Ethereum, we showed with the Dow Jones, it takes out that low right in there. Like I keep showing right here on these two comparisons, here's the total altcoin market cap, here's the Dow Jones, takes out that level, comes back, hits this bull flag within the double tap, and then V bottoms its way out to set new highs. When Ethereum did it back in 2017, breaking above double tap, coming back in, it took out that level as well, just like we've seen here currently, just like we saw in the Dow Jones. All the while happening at the exact same time when we go on to hit the rally prior to capitulation full Fibonacci extension reach out happens right at the exact same time for the altcoin market and for the entire market. Goes right on out and hits it perfectly, large knockback. And we head back over to Litecoin and we say, okay, that's exactly what happened with Litecoin back in here. And then we also grab the fractal and we say, well, wait a minute. And it's also doing exactly what it did back then at that exact same time. So we have the exact same fractal happening on Litecoin at the exact same moment of reaching out for the whole market to the full extension of the rally prior to Bitcoin capitulating. And so what does that tell us? It tells us, well, if we go based on what history did when we used the rally prior to capitulating and full extension reach out, that expecting a large knockback to come in and then one big surge to the upside before it all comes to an end. Even these structures right in here, what we're looking at right here, looking at the past, it tells us one more. It tells us one more. And for the last week and a half, I keep saying one more without even using any of this. I keep showing the inverse chart of Bitcoin saying one more. That back test for the total altcoin market cap on top of the all-time high, V bottom out of there, one more. XRP not setting its all-time high, not going on the massive bull run, which it always does in the last rally of Bitcoin and in the last rally of the market. One more. Litecoin hitting its all-time high, thinking it's going to stop there? I don't. One more. Same for Monero. Same for 0x. It all points to the big grand finale. And if you're new to this channel and it's the first time you're seeing me using this rally prior to capitulating, you're probably thinking this is a bunch of nonsense, but it's something that I've talked about in extreme detail many, many times on this channel and in my course because of how important it has always been. And it's very, very clear that you can see what happened here in Litecoin and how that large knockback came in right when we got there. And then right now we're mirroring the same thing happening over here in Litecoin and how important that was for the XRP price chart with the large knockback and then the big old rally. And that here we are in the total market cap of all of crypto reaching that exact moment. And the next phases of the cycles that we keep seeing throughout history is that the moment after this is the big euphoric moment, the big crazy moonshots that happen where everything is madness. We haven't seen that in this market yet, where everything goes crazy. And we haven't seen XRP have its shot at going crazy. And there's never been a bull run that XRP has missed out on before. And I always say it that I will never ever believe that this time is different. I'm always going to go with things are repeating. There may not be a perfect mirror of history, but there are extreme similarities. But like I keep saying throughout all of my videos, is that next moment, that's the big grand finale. That's the big ending. That's what the Bitcoin fractal shows us. It shows us that that's the big grand finale and that's the big ending. That's what all of these structures show us of what happened when XRP and Litecoin did it. And if we're to assume that Bitcoin has one more push to the upside, like it has in the past, and that the total market cap of all of crypto does the same thing, that's the final grand finale. And it's always been in the grand finale that XRP goes on its moonshot. And so while time is nearly impossible to predict, you could at least see what stage we would be in and what the next stage would be. And that from a time perspective, you would have to assume it's pretty close. And that, like I've been talking about on my Twitter and in yesterday's video, that if this is accurate, and we can see this when we overlay it just like this, that if this is our Bitcoin dominance falling and if this is alt season, that, well, this is just a pause for just a temporary moment, and that things are going to continue to be heated really quickly, but that from a time perspective, there just isn't much time left before something like this happens for all of crypto. And for a lot of us, that's going to be kind of relieving. I mean, geez, it's been a long hold to get until this moment. It's kind of bittersweet at the same time, right? It's kind of like you kind of just become accustomed at this point to just continue holding, and there's this wild chaos that goes on in your life. But of course, at the same time, all of us, I'm sure, have financial goals we would love to achieve in our personal lives, including myself. So I look forward to that moment. I look forward to being called a dingus when I'm saying I'm selling stuff. I look forward to that moment. I always talked about how, I'd take a step back after I thought the bull run was over, that I would take a step back for a little while, and whether or not, I'd keep going on with the blockchain backer stuff. And I've had people DM me, and I've had many months to think about it and stuff, that, yeah, I would continue the blockchain backer channel even after the bull run is over. I'd probably take a break for a little while. I really would love to enjoy to spend some time with my kids. But maybe spin the blockchain backer channel into a different kind of direction rather than just everyday TA. I don't think I really want to do everyday TA in a bear market if I think we're in a bear market, but I just love the cryptocurrency ecosystem. But I've always said the work isn't done, and the work still isn't done. And the big job is getting to that finish line. And I hope that today's video provided a little bit of hope, a little bit of optimism in what I see. And for those who have been around for a very long time, know exactly that I'm not just spewing nonsense out of my mouth for the first time, talking about this rally prior to Bitcoin capitulating. These are things we've been talking about for nearly a year. And we just saw the total market cap of crypto hit that moment. And as you can see in the examples of XRP and in Litecoin, the phase after that is the big monster moonshot, the big euphoric moment for all of cryptocurrency. And we're just about there. Optimistic. I hope you like that. I hope you kind of put a little bit of assurance in your heads. Of course, we still have work to do. We got to make sure we get through the Fibonacci retracements, the 702 retracements, all that stuff. And when we get there, I'll issue out those warnings as we get there. But right now, I wanted to point to all that and show that we've seen this exact thing happen before. We've seen the rally prior to capitulation push up to a 4.236 extension, large knockback, followed by the big final surge in crypto. And that's what it looks to be of where we're at right now in this market. And I hope that provides some optimism. But all right, I'm going to wrap this thing up. I hope you guys are having a great week so far. If you'd like, you can check out my website, bcbacker.com. This is my course where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs, the different altcoin market cycles, the different alt seasons, tying them all together to show where they've occurred in the past. Talk about percentages, mathematics, lots of educational content in here. I also talk about my own personal exit plans, and I teach you guys how to set up your own charts and your own indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. And you can check this out over here on bcbacker.com. You can follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.